think you can tell your friend inside there to turn it up a few hundred Kelvin?
I could. However, it might shatter the containment spell preventing him from incinerating this facility.
I think we're good. And just in time.
The Forge has certainly changed.
Right. Caretaker said this all happened after your siesta. What spooky castle would be complete without its own Babylonian demon-powered furnace?
Sumerian fire demon. His name is Babs.
Oh, now it all makes sense. Well, once you get past the esoteric terror of the situation, I've found this thing actually has some uses. Molecular bonding, breaking down evil gamma serums, fashion accessorizing.
Yes, speaking of...
Oh, right. It's ready.
Your armor seemed to offer minimal protection against the Venom creature.
I noticed.
Yeah, I thought you could use an upgrade.
Well hammered. Well fired. Caretaker did not mention that you two were such skilled smithies.
Yep, I am Iron Smithy.
Perhaps you should just try it on. Still think it could have used a cloak.
Stylish, damn near indestructible, and we even got the size right. Not bad for our first collaboration.
I still think it could have benefited from a cloak.
You think everything could benefit from a cloak?
I do not.
Oh, I've heard the things you whisper to your cape when you think no one's listening.
Ah, the joys of sharing a workspace. And I'll have you know, this cloak has helped me save the universe from extinction on countless occasions.
Could you at least tell it to stop rearranging things on my side of the cave?
I have, but it considers you something of a slob.
You know, I have a great psychiatrist in the city. Maybe you should talk to him. Although, I think he's working for Hydra right now.
Ah, Hunter. Word? Hunter, your new attire suits you quite well. But how are you holding up on the inside? I know it's easy to look upon me and simply see the universe's utmost authority on all things mystical and macabre, Hunter. However, in addition to being Earth's sorcerer supreme, I am also your doctor.
You mean a physician of the medical arts? You jest.
I assure you, Hunter, I do not jest. They don't call me Mr. Strange, now do they? Except for Tony. Your awakening ritual was admittedly a touch more chaotic than I had originally intended, and, well, after your violent encounter with Venom, my oath to Hippocrates compels me to check in with you. Simply put, how do you feel?
Physically, I am fine. However, I do feel some
grogginess, a tinge of nausea, sense of memory loss upon time of passing, watery or itchy eyes, common side effects when one is pulled back into the light. Believe me, I know. If any other symptoms arise, you can always tell me, particularly if you develop a craving for brains. I have a cream for that.
In any event,
I, for one, do not know if I will ever feel 100% again after the events of yesterday. I still can't believe what transpired, the sanctum, all that knowledge, Wanda, lost, swallowed whole by the black mouth of that foul Venom creature. With all my resources, all my gifts, I should have seen this outcome spelled out in the sacred geometry of this universe years ago. But I miscalculated.
Lilith's power has placed a dark shroud over us all, Doctor. You are not alone in this.
Your words are appreciated. Still, I must not allow the underlying truth of the situation to become shrouded as well. It's not just the Sanctum Sanctorum that was lost yesterday. It was my protege, Wanda. She is my charge, my responsibility, and I failed her. But I am determined not to let that happen with you, Hunter, which is why I am here to answer any questions you may have. Perhaps my wisdom may benefit you more than it has me thus far.
That creature on the roof, you have run into it before?
Unfortunately, yes. In the simplest of terms, Venom is an alien species living in symbiosis with a human known as Eddie Brock. He's something of a fixture in New York these days, but typically his hijinks are confined to harassing Spider-Man.
My mother has a gift for bringing out the worst in people.
Yes, and in this case, I happen to be the direct victim of her ambition. I fear the Sanctum may never be the same.
Tell me about your Sanctum's wards of protection. I have never heard of a protection spell that powerful.
In your time, I'm sure you encountered a variety of minor wards and protective spells. The Sanctum Sanctorum was shielded by one such incantation, but greatly amplified by the convergence of ley lines.
Ley lines?
Often dismissed as pseudoscience in the modern day, ley lines actually represent the convergence of magical energies formed within the Earth itself. Ancient civilizations built their temples along these lines, tapping into the power flowing through them. Two such lines converge at the Sanctum's location. Needless to say, the wards benefit greatly.
How did Wanda come into your care?
Wanda's story is quite tragic and perhaps not mine to tell. There was an accident on the Abbey grounds not long ago involving Agatha.
That must have been some accident.
Agatha had been teaching Wanda, hoping she would learn to control her immense but very raw power. As their training progressed, Wanda was encouraged to push herself further. Eventually, she pushed too far.
How did Wanda come into your care?
Wanda's story is quite tragic. There was an
And you have been keeping an eye on her?
You make it sound like I've been guarding her. My role here is merely one of friendship for as long as she needs it. One thing is certain, she refuses to step foot on the Abbey grounds for any reason.
How did That kind of power sounds like it could be dangerous.
We don't truly know the extent of Wanda's power, and in that respect, you two are very similar. Were she here now, I think you would have found her to be a kindred spirit.
How did I feel like everyone is avoiding mention of Agatha.
I can't say I'm surprised, but I'm afraid it's really not my place. You should speak to Sarah about her when you're ready.
How does Eddie feel about this arrangement?
He seems to relish the experience. And under Lilith's spell, they've clearly become more cohesive than ever before.
It sounds like Spider-Man is Venom's nemesis. Maybe he has some insight.
Of course. I have no doubt Spider-Man will prove to be an invaluable asset in the ongoing fight against both Venom and Lilith.
Tell me about your... And no one has ever broken the spell? Ever?
There's always a first for everything, but I had honestly never imagined a scenario in which the wards could be broken. Perhaps it was arrogance on my part, but Lilith is among the more cunning enemies we've ever faced.
Will the wards ever provide the same protection that they had?
It may be possible to undo the damage, but now that a weakness has been exposed, I'll have to rethink my approach entirely. Tony did offer a military-grade laser protection grid, should I be so inclined to go that route.
Let us talk later.
Visit whenever you like. It's not often I get to converse with a true legend.
Interesting. Curious. Fascinating. That is something. Ah, I see.
I hate to admit it, but somehow this ancient forge puts any arc reactor I've got to shame. Who would have thought mystically bound demon power would be so damn energy efficient? Or carbon neutral? Certainly got that new suit of yours done a lot faster than I expected. Speaking of, what's the verdict, boss?
Tell me about this demon. Why is it there?
Well, you would probably know more about that than me. I'm still working on a way to keep track of everything that goes bump in the night around here. Whatever they've got trapped down there, it's hotter than hell by a few thousand Kelvin, very pissed off, and really good at weaving synthetic microblends. But tools are just one part of the equation. You gotta know how to use them too. You were out, what, 300 years before we woke you from your eternal rest? I'm betting you have questions, so ask away, Hunter.
I take it this new version is a technological marvel?
Impact-resistant carbon composites, some patent-pending alloy mesh, and a few touches from Dr. Spooky over there. And hey, the built-in communicator means we can talk to each other without sending a raven.
So it is a marvel, then?
Lightweight, nearly indestructible, and modular enough for future upgrades. Frankly, I wouldn't have used your old suit to wax the Mandarin's car.
Is all this magic a threat to your new technology?
It might surprise some people to hear this, but I do like some things with rules. Isotope decay, magnetic fields, and gamma oscillation make a lot more sense to me than Eye of Newt, bat wings, and a sprinkle of sunshine. At least they did before everything changed.
Gamma seems to be a recurring theme these days.
Oh, you think I'm bad? You should ask Bruce. Actually, don't. He's been really sensitive since... You know what? Never mind.
Seen anything strange around here?
What, other than my roommate? Boom! Roasted! But on a more serious note, this place is legitimately haunted. Mirrors look back at you. My room rearranges itself. And worst of all, magic cats.
Was it suspiciously elusive, even for a cat?
Actually, yes. Thought I was going crazy there for a second, but clearly I'm still firing on all cylinders. It just poofed in next to me out in the yard. Small, black, furry. Cute little thing. Probably some kind of shape-shifting monster knowing this place.
What sorts of things are you doing in here?
Oh, that's right. You were out a while.
Basically, we've got a gigantic demon inside the magic box here that provides near limitless power for whatever we might need. Sounds insane, but sometimes it's easier to just go with it.
Okay, so why not magically create a way through that symbiote shield?
Have you ever known it to work that way? We can't just wish upon a star here. We need to know what we're making first and put together the right components. Otherwise, I'd have already whipped up Strange a new personality.
You must have an interesting origin story of your own.
Well, just your typical American boy. Pops was a founding member of the military-industrial complex. Mom, a famous socialite. Tragedy struck when I lost them both in a car crash, which turned out to be a hit from a rival corporation. I spent my early teens at MIT, trying to clear my head. It was all set to follow in Dad's footsteps as a war profiteer. Then one day, fortune shined on me, in the form of some errant shrapnel that lodged itself just above my heart. So I did what anybody in that situation would do. I built a supersuit and started fighting crime.
I guess we have all had difficult childhoods here.
Yeah, no kidding. I can't tell you how hard it was to memorize all that at Skrull Sleeper Camp. Just kidding. Or am I?
I take it this...
What?
The great Iron Man is not scared, is he?
Let's just say I'll be more comfortable once I've studied the problem. I feel like I'm living in one of those paranormal investigation reality shows.
I am sure there are worse places to be.
Oh, true. I could be rooming next to Carol. Her snoring is loud enough to wake the dead. Really tired people. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy we have a place free from Lilith's influence. While it lasts.
What sorts of things... Thanks for catching me up on things.
Anytime. Oh, and speaking of things, remember that creepy gamma goop you found from that hopped-up Hydra soldier? Well, I gave it a peek, and it explains a lot. If you have a minute, meet me at the anvil over there, and I'll walk you through it. I promise it'll be worth your time. Now, I doubt advanced gamma thermodynamics was a hot topic at Ye Olde Demon Hunting School, so I'm just gonna give you the condensed version.
I appreciate that.
Closest I've ever seen to this substance is pumping through Bruce's veins. Part gamma accelerant, part unknown element. Calling it coil for now, given its unique atomic structure. Man, I love acronyms. This stuff is more volatile than Nick Fury on a Monday morning, but Hydra doesn't seem to mind.
They are using it to get stronger.
Exactly. A few drops would make your average salamander look like Fin Fang Foom. Thankfully, with a little help from Dr. Spooky and our haunted oven over here, I think two can play at this game.
You are not suggesting we start injecting ourselves with it.
No, nothing like that. Though I can see some future applications for my energy drink line. I was thinking we apply this stuff towards upgrading our equipment.
I like where this is going.
Just give me a little time here and I can whip up some pretty fun toys. How about we give Hydra a taste of their own gamma-powered medicine for a change? Ooh, new coil. Let's get to work. Take a look. You're welcome, Hunter. Big Tony's Forge of Mystery. We never close.
Hunter, when you have a minute, come meet me in the yard. Welcome to the yard. At least that's what we're calling it these days. Caretaker put me in charge of your training. Too bad she didn't listen to me yesterday. Now that we know what we're up against, I think we can all use the practice. Any questions?
I did, but they are about you.
Right when it's time to train? From all Sarah told us about you, she never described you as lazy.
Everyone loves you when you are dead. Tell me, does that mean you are half-loved?
She didn't describe you as a snarky jackass, but here we are. All right, Tony Stark Jr., ask your questions.
Can I ask about you?
I guess.
Is your name really Blade?
Is your name really the Hunter?
Yes?
Oh, really? Your mom, before she became the mother of demons, looked into your cradle and decided to name her firstborn child the Hunter.
That is how I understand it.
It takes all kinds.
So, is your name really Blade?
No,
What is it?
it's private.
Is it embarrassing?
No, the Hunter, but I only share it with friends.
You do not consider me a friend?
Not yet. Don't take it personally.
How did you become a Dampier?
You say that like I had a choice. I was born this way.
How is that possible?
A vampire bit my mother. Problem was, I was still in the womb. I'm lucky I was even born. Don't know if that's how it always is, but that's the way it went down for me.
How long have you been around?
I don't exactly know. I think of myself as mid-20s maybe. I lost a lot of time. Much of the last century was a blur. I have occasional memories, almost like coming up for air before being yanked back down into the depths.
What happened?
I killed a lot of vampires. I hadn't lost my mind exactly, but I got into a rhythm and never stopped. Never had a reason to stop. Not until I met Caretaker.
And then?
She gave me a reason to stop.
What brought you to the Abbey?
Caretaker. About 10 years ago, she brought me back to the real world. Gave me a place to stay until I came back to myself.
Did she ever say why?
She said she thought I'd be able to kill more vampires if I was acting on more than just instinct. But I know it was more than that. She gave me safe haven here at the Abbey. Something I'd never known. Must have read half the books in the library by the time I headed out. So when she reached out and asked me to be part of this weird little club, of course I showed up.
Tell me about the Midnight Suns.
All right.
Why did you join? Vampire hunting is a solitary affair.
Guess I never found the right team.
Is that all?
No, but that's all I'll share for now. You really want to know? Put in the work. If I trust you, I'll have more to say.
What can you tell me about the others?
Nothing. Ask them yourself.
I'm not asking you to break anyone's confidence.
Fine. Which one?
Tell me about Nico.
She's the youngest, but she acts like she's in charge.
Why let her act like that?
She's usually right, and she keeps us on track. I didn't think we'd get along, but we wouldn't be the Midnight Suns without her.
What makes you say that?
She has a lot of heart, and that's why we let her. Anyone else?
What about Robbie?
He's exactly what he seems. Well, sort of. He's open with people, easygoing. Sometimes that comes across as dopey, but don't get the wrong impression. He's quick to make friends, and once he does, he's your friend for life. So don't let him down, or I'll hold it against you. Anybody else?
What do you know about magic?
Keeps to herself.
That is it?
She's a private person. Until she lets you in, that's all you need to know.
When does she let people in?
At her own pace. Respect that, and it'll happen faster than you think. Anyone else?
Tell me what you think of Sarah.
Well, there are a few people I tolerate, even less who I like. Sarah, I respect. She sees the big picture, and we're a part of it. I'd follow her to hell if I had to. And from what I understand, we may have to.
I am surprised she commands such respect.
I'm surprised that you're surprised. You know what she's like more than any of us.
I do.
Anybody else?
Nobody else.
Sure.
Thanks, Blade.
Mm-hmm. Sure. If you can beat Carol in a straight fight, I'll let you skip training. Good luck with that. Time's wasting, Hunter. Do your thing.
Good to see you, Hunter. Like the way you move out there, Hunter. Guess Dr. Strange picked the right supernatural demon hunter to resurrect. I'm Carol Danvers, but you can call me Captain Marvel. Kidding, Carol's fine. Just thought I'd throw a bone to the Avengers PR team. Not gonna lie, going a few rounds in Vampire Guy's Magic Thunderdome sounds like fun, but we've got bigger fish to fry. Well, not so much fish as that ginormous invulnerable sewer monster that swallowed the Sanctum.
Every lock has its key.
True, if only a man-eating alien demon monster hadn't eaten ours. But that got me thinking. Strange, Caretaker, and the rest of the funky bunch can try and magic their way through that shield all they want. If my time as a pilot taught me one thing, it's that sometimes you've got to find a workaround. As in Hydra, they've got to know the way inside. Steve's always said they aren't much for talking, but then again, I'm told I can be rather persuasive when I need to be.
Well, if there is any time to put your powers of persuasion to work, now is the time, Captain.
Trust me, Hunter, I'm looking forward to it. Hydra's been a thorn in me and Steve's asses for years. Can't wait to remove them for good. Find me in the war room when you're finished here. There's a few things we should discuss. Oh, and Hunter? Welcome back from the dead.
Hey.
Nothing is certain these days, but these readings are too distinct to ignore. The gamma signature is...
Sorry, Bruce, we lost you. Did you say Gamma?
Yes,
Hang on a second. Come on, Tony. You managed to stream the Super Bowl to a Kree battleship 50 light-years out. This should be easy.
We waited all year for that game, and you know the Skrulls would have spoiled it for us if they got the chance.
Well, can't you just... I don't know.
Work my magic again? See, that's the problem. This time I am working with actual magic, and let me tell you, it sucks.
Always on the hunt, right?
Heads up, Hunter.
The gamma signature is completely inverted. The daughter nuclei are being reabsorbed into the parent nuclei, which is impossible.
If the gamma signature from the Sanctum is really that unique, Bruce, then couldn't we just...
Sorry, still working out a few gremlins in the system.
Try sunlight, and whatever you do, avoid water.
Oh, wait, you're being serious?
We should be able to track this new gamma signature to its source then, right? I'd do it myself, but we seem to be having a little IT trouble today.
Please. Old Central here is ready to grind through that data like chum.
What exactly is a central?
CENTRAL. Cognitive encryption, net transmogrification. We'll figure it out later.
Sending coordinates now. Hope your gremlins enjoy gamma spectroscopy.
Well, he's been a little moody lately, ever since, the problem with the big old green guy.
I heard that.
Banner can't turn into the Hulk? Not sure if we should be frightened or relieved.
That makes two of us.
Oh, hey. Come on. Happens to everyone. Well, okay, not everyone.
Nice work, Bruce.
I know that place. Creepy abandoned warehouse in the bad guy part of town.
My favorite kind. Anybody up for paying it a visit?
Definitely.
Aw, see that? Teamwork goosebumps.
Find me when you're ready.
Multi-million-dollar piece of experimental technology, and she kicks it.
It was just recently that the Hudson Yards Development Restoration Association purchased this entire block. I'll let you think about that one for a minute.
Let's see. Trench coat, sunglasses at night, brooding personality. Something tells me these midnight warehouse raids are pretty normal for you.
Very.
This area in particular?
Occasionally. Good for a late night snack.
Oh.
The falafel place down the road. Stays open till 3.
Oh, right, sure. Only maybe next time say it less vampire-y. Normally I'd just meet you there, but I'm actually a little curious about this portal you've been using. One of these days, I'll join you on a mission, and you'll see what I am really capable of.
Gamma signatures and unstable isotopes aren't really in my wheelhouse, so we'll be patching Dr. Banner through from Avengers Tower once you reach the other side.
Probably can scratch abandoned off the description of this place. You seeing this, Bruce? Getting all sorts of weird down there.
Johann Fenoff. That hack. I heard he was dead. Well, hoped is perhaps a more accurate description.
Calls himself Faustus now. Hydra's resident mad scientist.
Not just Hydras. Liliths. That's magic coming from those crates. I can feel it.
Yeah? How about gamma radiation? You feeling that too? Because that's some pretty evil-looking Hydra tech down there.
Gamma and magic.
I need you to use your science brain on this one, Bruce.
We need to approach this situation carefully. Combining those energies is an explosive proposition at best. Think scalpel, not hammer. Stealth, not strength.
Yeah, I don't do stealth.
Kill them.
I always considered Faustus a bit of a crackpot, but his fundamental science must be sound. The device would have surely exploded otherwise after your display, Carol.
Learned it by watching you, Bruce.
Even for Hydra. How invigorating.
Get ready. You kissed the mother with that mouth? This is gonna hurt.
Vampires are not the only ones who should fear you.
We will never forsake her.
Lilith will not be pleased with your efforts.
Hostile reinforcements inbound.
I've never been one to buy into the science of magic, but the data I'm seeing is hard to ignore. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio.
You know you're talking to a vampire, an alien hybrid, and a resurrected demon hunter, right?
You have earned this. You are lucky to still be breathing. I am impressed.
worry. I can take it. I just don't know when to quit.
Is it possible he somehow stabilized the rate of decay within the particles themselves? How else could he be achieving such a high yield?
I don't know, Bruce. I'll be sure to ask him when we're done punching out the bad guys.
Send reinforcements!
Take this! I'm not sure if it's ethical for people like us to beat up chumps like you.
Feeling strong today.
Not a problem.
I saw a move like that once, centuries ago.
Regroup at position Tango.
You are not ready for me.
Perhaps Faustus's device is worth further study. If you wouldn't mind, Carol, I'd prefer it if you and your supernatural associates not...
Smash it?
Yes.
Not bad.
Go, now, quickly!
Let's go, go, go!
The perfect opportunity to field test Mother's device.
Watch out!
Get her!
For the record, Bruce, I did not smash that thing.
Noted, Carol. Perhaps you might direct all that energy towards your newfound adversaries instead. And the mysterious cargo they're attempting to escape with?
I'll put this to good use. Here it comes.
So how that works. Feel great.
Hydra is in control of the situation.
They are still coming for me.
That's just about enough of this.
Reinforcements on approach.
Preliminary analysis of the blast confirms high levels of gamma and various unknown energies.
Unknown to you, there is dark magic at work here. We must not let Hydra escape with it. Was that truly your best?
Weirdos like these that give people like us a bad reputation.
It's about time. You'd think after 80 years of failure, Hydra would throw in the towel already.
The battlefield is ours.
I have to admire your persistence.
Reinforcements inbound. We are immovable.
To be crystal clear, we won't be able to recreate Faustus's experiment or track potential future variants' gamma signatures without a baseline resonant sample from his initial occult catalyst.
Got it. Stop the truck.
You're done here.
You do not have to show off for me, Blade.
Ready up.
Behold the light's gift.
I owe you one.
Nothing we can't handle so far.
How many times is that?
Trying. Maybe you'll get lucky.
Good. I could use some more practice.
These delays can be quite frustrating. Infuriating, even. I suppose by now I'd normally be tromping through the warehouse, hurling the puny truck at the moon.
Don't worry, Bruce. I've got a pair of torn purple pants with your name on them.
Get some. It sounds to me like they just missed their mama. Exactly what I needed. Playtime's over. About time. Looking good, feeling good.
The light will heal you. The advantage is mine.
Not slowing us down today.
Luckily, I'm a glutton for punishment.
What is happening?
They're almost here. Hold position.
Oh, they smell nervous. Let's do it. Give the mother my regards in hell. Don't play. Your mother. Time to get
Think they can arrest you for that in New York, Blade.
One less thing to worry about. Approximately 16,342 more to go. I suggest starting with the remaining Hydra forces in your vicinity.
We're losing ground. I've been waiting. Let's see how good you are.
Is that everyone?
coming.
Now you're just showing off.
At least Hydra Green is iconic. If you're a low-rent mercenary, I mean.
We've done it!
What is this thing?
Bad guy crate, full of bad guy stuff.
I know those symbols from the time of the first hunt. That glyph means barrier, that one almighty. Something, something, gods and demons.
So a spooky bad guy crate.
Very spooky. Designed to contain powerful magic. Be careful.
Got it. Don't cross the streams.
Never do. How about we get this thing back to the Abbey and see for ourselves? Nice job out there, kid. I mean, I didn't get Hydra bombed until my 10th run with the Avengers.
Kid, you do know that I'm a good 3 centuries older than you, right?
Then you've got a lot of catching up to do.
Okay, Abbey tournament tonight.
Sure about that? Last one got a little heated.
The eternal spirits of vengeance take technical fouls very seriously, especially in the fourth quarter.
Forget it. Tonight is movie night.
It is always movie night.
Exactly.
Wow, out of jail again? Who made this game? Wilson Fisk?
Well, if parking is free, clearly no one from Manhattan.
You know what they say? All work and no play is how we ended up with Ultron. Come on, you should hang out.
I should rest. Another time. Let me see. How did this work again?
Hunter, I know you're awake in there. You just replied to me. Good. You answered. Getting hard to keep finding ways to say open door around here. And despite what Robbie says, I don't think the staff of one speaks High Elven. Blood magic stuff. Cool room. Spacious. Aw, is that bed for Charlie?
Yes.
So, if you're planning on giving me some sort of brooding code of the stoic warrior speech, I'm immune. Just ask later, Magic. From what I just saw out there, whatever crazy ancient living weapons stuff Caretaker put you through back in the day did a real number on you. We got a lot of work to do.
Work?
Yeah, talking to people, making friends, basic human stuff. Or quasi-human. You're a Midnight Sun now. One of us.
Nico, I was just Hydra bombed. I could use some rest.
You and me both. Been bad dreams every night for me lately. I keep seeing Wanda. She... Never mind.
I will meet you outside.
Yes! I'll go nuke us some popcorn and you pick out a movie. Oh, and it may just be the two of us. The others went outside, needed to cool off. Really need to hang a fan over that forge. Or maybe crack open the casket of ancient wonders a little? I'm kinda getting the impression Doctor Strange is a little bit of a hoarder. I mean, just because it's magical junk doesn't mean it's not junk. You know what they call an artifact that only works in a pocket dimension once every 10,000 years? I don't know either, because I don't hoard junk. I know this entire situation's gotta suck for you. Not just the whole resurrected, chosen one thing. I get why facing Lilith won't be easy. I was 15 when I found out my mother was capital E evil.
Was your father there for you when you found out?
Dad was evil too. Long story, lots of drama. There was a cool dinosaur. I'll fill you in later. Look, I'm glad my mother is gone, but yeah, at times I just want to hear her voice again. Some days I'd give anything to make that happen. Makes me hate her even more.
I did not realize you carried such pain.
I just learned to bury it. You think I can afford a therapist on a superhero salary? I'm kidding. We don't get paid for this. Enough about our crappy parents. You missed out on decades of good movies. It's my solemn duty to fill this knowledge gap with the best examples I can provide. So, the first thing you need to know, the glowing briefcase is a metaphor. Can we do it again? So, what did you think of the movie?
I understood more than I should.
How? You've been dead for 3 centuries.
I'm not so sure I was dead. Not exactly. I recall a deep slumber, not the void. I dreamt.
Of what?
Of everything. Much of this world is familiar to me. I know it from my dreams.
That's not creepy at all. So, do you know everything?
No, think of it like this. I know what a car is, but I have no idea how to drive.
You're up to date, but not omniscient. Then I'm guessing you don't know much about me.
Just what you shared earlier.
You're always free to ask. Like, what's the staff of one? Or who were the Runaways?
I had some questions about your staff.
Sure. But first, the basics. The staff of one interprets words or phrases as spells, but it can only cast a spell once. No repeats.
Can you tell me how the staff of one functions?
It's, blood magic, so my own blood is required to summon it. You wouldn't believe how many adhesive bandages I go through each year.
What about the words you speak?
They come true. Kind of. And not always the way I expect. It's like making a wish, but you can never make the same wish again.
I had some questions about your staff. If each magical effect is unique, do you worry you will run out of words?
Not really. I only use the staff's power when I truly need it. The rest of the time, I rely on more conventional means. Like, you know, magic.
I had some questions about your old team.
The Runaways?
Sure thing.
Were you all heroes who banded together?
No, we were normal kids. We saw each other once a year when our parents got together to reminisce. And then we found out two very disturbing things. First, our parents were supervillains who sacrificed children to evil gods. Second, each of us had some sort of powerful birthright. Our parents wanted us to follow in their footsteps.
What did you do?
We ran, but eventually we realized only the 6 of us could stop our parents and their dark gods, so we faced them and stopped them from destroying reality as we know it. You know, typical kid stuff.
Where are your friends now?
Molly attends Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. Carolina left Earth to marry alien nobility. Gert... She didn't make it. After Gert passed, Chase and I had a falling out. The last I heard, he and Old Lace are living at his family home in LA. As for Alex, he chose his side, and it wasn't ours. He died with our parents.
Who was on the team?
At first, Chase with his mad science gear, Molly, our pint-sized powerhouse, Carolina, the solar-powered sweetheart. Gert had a telepathic link to Old Lace, a genetically engineered Deinonychus from the 87th century. I handled the blood magic, though I didn't understand it much. And Alex, well, we don't talk about Alex.
I should get going.
Good timing. Looks like Caretaker wants to speak with you, and wow, I should get to bed. Time flies when you're hanging out.
I'm glad to see you're using your free time productively. These grounds haven't changed in hundreds of years, and yet they always seem different to my tired eyes. Looks like you're finding your way around, maybe making some new friends.
I was planning on getting some rest, but...
Things are moving at a frantic pace. For all we know, I'll be landing a jet on the roof with Mr. Stark this afternoon. Not quite like it was in the good old days.
The world is still full of monsters and villains, my mother being the worst of them all.
You forgot heroes. The world is still full of heroes. Though sadly, we're missing one of our best.
Agatha? Where is Agatha?
I am sorry. I should have had this talk with you much sooner. But you should know... Agatha... she's no longer with us.
What? That is impossible. She was so...
fierce, indomitable, or maybe just kind to a fault.
Agatha's power. How could she be... gone?
She put her trust in the wrong person. Agatha died in an accident caused by her protege, Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch. The Midnight Sun's latest recruit, a powerful spellcaster in her own right. Perhaps the most powerful Agatha and I had ever seen. Wanda's abilities were growing. Too quickly for my liking. Agatha was determined to help her control them. I tried to caution her, but she would not listen. There was an incident. An accident, I'm sure, but...
Agatha was killed.
Yes, incinerated in an instant. Not even ash to remember her by. The others were heartbroken, as was I. But I also saw the danger, the threat, if Wanda's powers were left unchecked. So I did what needed to be done. I sent Wanda away, to the Sanctum Sanctorum, to study under Dr. Strange. I know the others still harbor a great deal of resentment towards me for it.
Wanda's powers were so out of control they cost a life. Your decision may have saved lives, if not the entire Abbey.
I like to believe that, especially given her current situation. Wanda, Agatha, it seems we have lost them both now. I conjured a small shrine to Agatha's memory on the grounds, hoping to find some solace, a way to move forward. You should pay your respects. Maybe you'll find what I couldn't. Good night, Hunter.
Agatha?
You always did have the most remarkable eyes, Hunter. Just like your mother's. Maybe that's why you're the first.
The first?
To commune with the spirits, of course.
Is this a trick of some kind? Because I am not amused.
No, it's no trick, dear. You're just the first to see me. By now you've heard I had a bit of trouble with my corporeal body. I actually find it quite liberating.
You are dead.
Always straight to the heart of things. That's my Hunter.
You seem strangely at ease about this whole thing.
After 1,000 years of living, you learn to take things in stride. Even death.
And what have you been doing all this time?
Meet me by the cave just over there. You know the one.
The Blood Gate? Caretaker always told me to stay away from that place.
I think we can safely lift the veil on a few more of our secrets. What's the worst that can happen? Ominous-looking portal is known as a Blood Gate, and you're the only one among us who can pass through it.
Blood Gate? Caretaker's handiwork?
Yes, Sarah got a little overprotective after the accident with Wanda. It's become something of a habit for her.
I have noticed that.
What lies beyond is meant for you, as much as it ever was for her. Assuming you're up to the challenge, that is.
You know I am.
I do. But it's always polite to ask.
That is something.
Not what you were expecting, is it? There was a time when the blood stood within these celestial halls to prove their worth. This particular arena belongs to a goddess who often favored Sarah, Ashtor.
Sarah? Caretaker was here?
Nothing ever comes easy, dear. The Elder Gods felt their descendants needed to earn their blessings, which is why they created these trials to begin with.
Trials? I should have known.
This entire realm exists for that purpose. Trial by combat, with no chance of outside interference.
And this is my challenge.
Yes, but I may have found a loophole they never considered. Why don't you try summoning your four-legged friend?
Charlie?
The old gods are responsible for a great many creations, including your faithful companion. I think even they tend to forget that. Good luck, dear. As the goddess of balance and order, Ashtor was sometimes called the giver of justice. You can expect a fair fight.
Your fate is sealed. You were too weak for this fight. Your mother abandons you.
Compared to our girl, these hellhounds are nothing. They certainly won't.
I am impressed. They cannot possibly match your strength. Leave some for the rest of us.
You can imagine why Sarah was so fond of Ashtor. If I didn't know better, I would say she was caretaker after the goddess herself.
Feel my call. I saw a move like that once, centuries ago.
Good girl, Charlie. Oh, and you too, Hunter. You finished this trial, but don't worry. The other gods are waiting. To be wary of this place. But it's your birthright, and I think after everything you've been through, you can handle it now. The two of you, as well as your mother, are the last of your kind, the Blood. Your lineage follows an unbroken line to the old gods themselves. And if you call upon them, you might just find they're actually listening. They won't work miracles for you, but their blessings can be quite useful in the right circumstance. Why don't you ask the goddess Ashtur for her aid in dealing with that barrier over there? Ashtur smiles upon me. After all this time, it's still just as beautiful as the first time I laid eyes on it. It's hard to believe Lilith and Caretaker brought this place all the way from Transia. Of course, it was no coincidence that they wound up so close to Salem. This area is particularly attuned to the forces of magic. That's why the Elder God's influence was so prevalent here. And why our sanctuary here has remained all but impregnable over the centuries. And now I'm rambling on like an old sorcerer supreme. Why don't you come see me in the library tomorrow night? Oh, and let's keep this just between the two of us for now. I'm afraid Sarah, Caretaker, isn't ready to see me yet. Good night, Hunter.
You have not set anything on fire today, have you? Fascinating.
Is this thing on? Hunter, please come to the forge at your earliest convenience. Again, that's Hunter to the forge. Thank you. Strange out.
Hunter, just in time. His royal weirdness and I were deciding what to do with that nasty little Hydra gift box you found.
Ah, yes. The spooky crate.
The very one. Though it is far from any mere container, I assure you. I am detecting powerful emanations from inside. If this is a sign of what Hydra is after, I fear we are all in grave danger.
My offer still stands. I could fly the thing up and nuke it in orbit. Only way to be sure.
Or we could open it, Tony, and perhaps use the mystical energies I sense inside to our advantage.
Yeah, I heard a "we" in there. Green goopy gamma serums are one thing. I'm not opening boxes full of mummy curses.
You don't have to. Hunter, if you'll allow me.
Your second funeral, boss.
Whatever artifact is inside, it's better off in our hands. If Hydra is now working to acquire mystical antiquities, then our situation is very dire indeed. We need to find a way to gain the upper hand.
And you think you can do it with whatever is in the container?
Tony has one of the greatest scientific minds that I've ever seen. I, of course, have an unparalleled understanding of the mystic arts. I have no doubt that we can find a way to research whatever we find in there and have it work in our favor. I just wonder what it could be.
Do you think this will be enough to give us an edge?
I hope so. Whatever it is, it's quite powerful. I'm relying on my instincts here, but truly that's all I have to rely on until I can find a way to access the Sanctum's archives again.
That seems a bit risky.
Right now, with the Sanctum out of my reach, I'm fighting with one hand tied behind my back. Metaphorically, that is. If I can find items to research, I can give the Midnight Suns every possible advantage over Lilith and her disciples.
I look forward to seeing what you come up with.
Me too, Hunter. Now, all this talk is going nowhere unless we can get this container open and study what's inside. Approach the anvil, Hunter. We do not have time to spare. There's more to this workspace than meets the eye, Hunter. These flames aren't born of any fire. You have my undivided attention. In this reality, anyway. By the hoary hosts of Hoggoth, I can hardly believe it.
What? Is it worse than you expected?
No, it's totally unexpected. It's the Eternity Dagger. This was in a place of honor in my bedchamber in the Sanctum for years. The Sanctum Sanctorum is no common domicile to be burglared. These barbarians have no idea what they possessed.
Or perhaps they did. Maybe these artifacts are exactly what Faustus and my mother were after to begin with.
A distressing thought. If they had my dagger, then who knows what others of my priceless possessions have passed through their greedy fingers. The cube of nothingness. The tear of Profia, and most worrisome of all.
Your toothbrush? You, had a little coffee thing going on this morning with your breath?
Oh, Tony.
Sorry. Doc's right, Hunter. I drank 3 glasses of holy water just to walk through the Sanctum's front door. Place is like a doomsday vault for all sorts of supernatural nastiness. We need to put a lid on this mess. Pronto.
I believe Carol is already working on it.
At last. Now that this artifact has been returned to its proper owner, we shall see if we can make use of the mystic forces contained within. It's not entirely worthless, just not especially valuable either.
Welcome to Tony's Scary Demon Cave. I'm Tony, and how may I assist you today? Get in. Take your pick, Hunter. Tony is working.
You moving into the Forge, Hunter? You've been here more in the past few days than I have since... ever. The Forge is pretty badass, but the creature trapped inside riles up my own inner demon. Speaking of, there's something you should know about me.
You are bonded with the spirit of vengeance?
Damn, you're good. How could you tell?
You are not the first spirit of vengeance to join the Midnight Suns. I fought beside another just a few days... 3 centuries ago.
Oh man, sometimes when I have crap to work through, I like to get my blood pumping. Why don't we hit the yard for a sparring session? I know Sparky's excited to meet you.
Sparky?
That's what I call my spirit of vengeance. His real name is something you'd see written on a symbol, but with like 12 apostrophes. Also, he's not allowed inside after the incident with caretaker Sumerian sofa.
I am the scourge of the Lilith. My name is whispered in fear across the 7 hells. When I fight, I make war, not make-believe, Robbie. Be sure your Sparky is ready to do the same.
Damn, Hunter! You talk the same kind of smack that he does. Okay, let's do this. I'll get Blade to set things up. Won't take a minute.
I will head to the yard. When you and Sparky trade places, what does he look like?
He's the guy with the flaming metal skull and hellfire chains. Kinda hard to miss.
Ready to work? Not everyone wants my advice, but they're gonna get it either way.
Like playing with fire, huh?
Maybe you should be the spirit.
Hunter, report to the war room. We've got a mission.